but it's not easy.
When was the last time Kanye saw the kids?
Whenever he'll call for them and ask, it's probably been a couple months since we've heard from him. But
welcome. So today we're moving past the usual headlines, really. We're going to have, I think, a crucial conversation. It's drawn from Kim Kardashian opening up about her marriage to Kanye West, that Call Her Daddy interview.
Right. And it's just packed with experiences that honestly so many people can relate to, even if the details are different.
Exactly. It's about emotional safety, self-preservation.
Yeah, when Kim called the relationship toxic and specifically mentioned not feeling emotionally or financially safe, that really struck a chord.
It did.
So our mission today really is to look at those universal struggles.
Yeah.
You know, loving someone with significant mental health challenges, the sheer unpredictability, what we're calling the cost of chaos.
Absolutely. And we want to be clear, this isn't about gossip. It's about empathy, about the human side of this. So if you've ever felt drained by a relationship where stability just vanishes, this is for you.
Let's talk about that chaos. To really grasp the scale, Kim shared this really shocking story about Kanye's manic episodes. It wasn't just like small, impulsive things. She said he'd spontaneously buy 5 Lamborghinis.
5? Wow.
And then just give them away to random people, only for the cars to somehow reappear weeks later, maybe when the episode subsided.
Okay, 5 Lamborghinis. That's obviously huge financial chaos. But we need to look deeper, right? It's not just the money.
Not at all. It's the psychological impact of that level of erratic behavior, whether it's Lamborghinis or, smaller daily things. Living with that is, well, it's devastating.
It has to be, because your brain, it craves predictability, safety.
Exactly. And when that's gone, when you're constantly bracing for the next big financial swing or the next emotional explosion, your nervous system gets stuck.
Stuck how?
In fight or flight.
Yeah.
Permanently switched on.
That sounds exhausting, like a constant low-level trauma running in the background.
It is. It's that horrible, unsettling feeling like you wake up and you literally don't know which version of your partner you're going to face that day.
That's anxiety, just living in your house.
Pretty much. Anxiety in human form, yeah.
But why is it so hard to leave when things get that chaotic? When it's the norm?
Well, that's where the psychology gets tricky. It's often about something called intermittent reinforcement.
Okay, explain that.
So if someone is reliably awful all the time, it's actually in some ways easier to leave. You know what to expect.
No surprises.
But when the chaos, the Lamborghini's leaving, is broken up by moments of intense calm or love or apologies, the Lamborghini's returning, your brain latches on to those good moments.
So it gets hooked on the hope that the good times will come back.
Precisely. Those brief calm periods become the reward that makes you endure the storm. You keep hoping for the calm after.
That's a really tough cycle to break. And it's important to remember, like you said, fame, money, none of that protects you from this kind of deep emotional unsafety.
Not at all. And Kim lived with this for years, which brings us to the sheer labor involved.
Yeah.
Just think about the emotional energy. Try to manage the episodes, support him, protect 4 kids.
And deal with global public scrutiny and, frankly, humiliation at the same time.
Right. She said herself she was operating at a superhuman level.
I believe it. And often the person doing all that work feels this immense guilt if they even think about stopping or pulling back.
Absolutely. Kim mentioned trying so hard to help him make healthy changes.
And I think anyone who's loved someone battling addiction or severe mental illness knows that moment.
Which moment is that?
That moment you realize your love, no matter how strong, isn't a magic wand. It can't fix them.
That is such a key takeaway here. Love cannot fix someone who isn't ready or maybe isn't able to do the incredibly hard work themselves.
Yeah.
At that point, when your support starts actually harming you, eroding your own well-being, that's the critical boundary.
It shifts everything, doesn't it? From a partnership to almost like a caretaker role.
And the caretaker is just constantly running on fumes.
You can still love the person deeply. That's not the issue. But if you see that staying means you won't survive, walking away isn't failing.
No, not at all. It's the opposite. Choosing to leave isn't weakness. It's not a lack of commitment. It's essential self-preservation.
You're facing the hard truth that you can only control your own stability.
And if you stay, the chaos might just swallow you whole too.
And then adding children to the mix, that must have made the decision infinitely harder.
Exponentially. because it wasn't just about her anymore. The chaos was shaking the entire family's foundation.
You're talking about the stability these kids need, their sense of reality.
Which is why her framing is so powerful. She said, I had to save myself to be a better mom.
Wow, that's brave.
It really is. Choosing her own health so the kids wouldn't grow up thinking that chaos is just normal. That's huge.
It's like choosing generational healing, trying to stop the pattern right there.
Exactly. Generational healing. That's a great way to put it.
And then layered on top of all this private struggle was the public spectacle.
Oh, yeah. Kanye's outbursts, the social media stuff, attacking her, attacking Pete Davidson.
It wasn't just bad PR, was it?
No way. It felt like emotional warfare, fought out in the open for everyone to see, adding unbelievable stress.
Let's talk about accountability here, because this is where it gets really complex, especially for listeners dealing with similar family situations.
It's definitely the trickiest part. We have to acknowledge Kanye's bipolar disorder. It's real, it plays a significant role in his behavior, and that deserves compassion, understanding.
Right. Mental health struggles explain behavior.
But, and this is the crucial distinction, they don't excuse the harm caused. They don't erase accountability for the impact of that behavior.
That's the line.
That's the boundary. You can hold compassion for the struggle and maintain firm limits on harmful actions. They aren't mutually exclusive.
Okay, so how do you do that? Compassion and limits. We see Kim trying, right, with the co-parenting.
We do, and it looks utterly exhausting. She's still aiming for a healthy relationship between the kids and Kanye, despite his extreme unpredictability.
That's monumental emotional labor right there.
Absolutely. She's the stable anchor in that storm, constantly managing the fallout from his instability. She even admitted recently it had been months since he'd even called the kids.
Oh man, I can't even imagine carrying that weight.
Think about it. You're the parent doing constant damage control, explaining dad's absence or why dad said something hurtful online or why plans changed again.
All just to shield the kids, to protect their basic sense of safety?
It's a relentless cycle of filling the gaps left by the other parent. You basically become this emotional fortress.
And that stress doesn't just disappear when the divorce papers are signed, does it?
Not at all. It lingers. We see that in what she's saying now about her emotional state.
Yeah, she said she's still processing the trauma.
Right. And she's not ready to date. Not out of bitterness, it sounds like, but fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of dragging someone new into that same storm she knows could erupt again. That says so much about the volatility she escaped.
That caution makes total sense, especially when you remember the Pete Davidson situation.
Oh, absolutely. That Claymation music video where Kanye basically buried Pete alive. Kim said she felt terrible guilt over that.
Our words were, it wasn't fair for him, right?
Yeah. Her concern wasn't just for herself, but for the collateral damage to anyone close to her.
That feels like real emotional maturity, actually. Realizing that sometimes protecting a potential partner means keeping them away from the fallout you're still navigating.
It is. And what also signals healing is her focus now on just being content single.
That feels like a quiet but really powerful shift.
It is. Moving away from needing external validation or chasing some perfect relationship ideal.
She's choosing peace, internal peace, overperforming for the world or demanding perfection.
That's growth. That's prioritizing her own emotional well-being. And that journey takes serious time and effort. It's hard work.
Especially with the whole world watching and, offering opinions.
Constantly.
Although sometimes the simplest takes come from the kids, right? She shared that little moment with North.
Oh, yeah, that was cute.
North just sees Mom as single and declares, Mom, you need a boyfriend now.
Classic kid logic. Fix the problem directly. Love solves everything.
Right. Yeah. But North's comment actually helps us frame our final thought, pulling together everything we've talked about.
Okay.
So bringing this back to you listening, if you've ever faced that incredibly difficult choice, choosing peace over constant chaos, whether in a relationship, a job, family, please know this. That decision doesn't make you artless. It doesn't make you a failure.
No, it makes you healthy. Profoundly healthy.
Looking at the bigger picture here, the core message seems pretty clear.
Which is?
That real healthy love should build you up. It should help you become stronger, more yourself, more secure.
Yeah. It should never make you lose pieces of yourself just trying to keep someone else glued together.
Beautifully put. And seeing Kim need this time for healing makes you question something fundamental, maybe.
Wait, what?
Well, it leads to a question for everyone to think about. Does love always have to be the immediate fix, like North suggests?
Or is it often true that real, sustainable, healthy love can only really arrive after the necessary healing, the reclaiming of self, has already happened?
A really vital distinction to consider.
Definitely food for thought.
Thank you so much for joining us as we explored this. The human cost of chaos and the sheer courage it takes to choose yourself.
Absolutely. We'll catch you next time.